Hello, welcome, I'm Beth the Builder. So, what are we doing today? Let me tell you. So, I came up with this idea to build a mug tree. You know, a thing with a platform and it's like a little wooden dowel or whatever, and then it's got hooks on it, and then you hang mugs on it. So, pretty simple. Except I'm gonna make mine out of like an actual tree. Haha, pretty clever, get it? It's like a play on words. So, I scavenged all this wood just from my yard, and I'm pretty sure everything is just maple, I think. I'm not an arborist, okay? So I'm not great at tree identification, but from what I looked at online, and what I think I have, I'm thinking they're maples. This main log I have is about, I don't know, not quite 2 inches in diameter. And what I'm thinking is mine's gonna hang above our coffee maker. And I don't know if I'll use this whole thing because it's a lot, but it's gonna hang above our coffee maker, and then I'm gonna carve holes in here to then stick pieces of, you know, these skinnier twigs in them, and then it'll hang, and then you'll hang mugs on it, and it'll be friggin' great. So I don't want to build something that's gonna sit on the counter because we lack for counter space in our kitchen. So I'm not really interested in more things to sit on a counter, and I think this is a pretty clever idea. Alrighty, so yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to do is cut my twigs down to probably 3-inch pieces. I think that will be good. And then I'll start carving this. So, I'm thinking to carve my holes at kind of an angle so that the twig dowel things that the mugs will hang on will be kind of sitting slightly upwards and not just straight out, so that, like, I don't know, a mug could fall off it. I don't know. I feel like that might be a little bit better. So I'm gonna use my rotary tool off-brand Dremel to carve my holes, and I'm gonna use probably my jigsaw to cut up these twigs because I think that'll just be faster. So that's what we're doing. So I changed my mind. I'm actually going to use a giant drill bit. This is 3/8 of an inch, and I'm going to use that to get the initial hole started and everything. And if I need to widen it with carving it out, I will. But this is going to take too long, and this is decently hard wood, I feel like. Or my carving bits are pretty, I mean, they're cheap, and they're definitely not like super sharp. So that's what we're going to do. Change my mind. We're pivoting. We're doing this. I know what I'm doing! No, I mean, no one knows. Oh no! I drilled a hole all the way through! Well, it's okay. I think it'll be okay. Don't do that. That's not the way to go about this. Alright, but my skinnier sticks do fit in there, so that's cool. Alrighty. Alright, safety first. Let's do it. Cue super badass music right now. Do it. Cue it. Okay, so last two things that I did was, first, I sprayed this with some clear spray, and I used my shellac again because that's just what I have, and I actually don't have any clear gloss or anything, but you could use literally whatever you have. So that's one thing, and the second thing I did was consider how do I want to hang this. So I didn't come up with any like super brilliant ideas, sorry. So I thought about some kind of bracket that you could put on the back, but I didn't really have anything for that, and I'm trying to keep it simple. You could mount this to like another piece of wood for like a little plaque behind it, and then put just simple brackets on that to hang it. I mean, you could do those things, but what I decided to do was just drill 2 countersink holes where this actually sits against the wall, since this log is kind of like twisty. And I countersunk them so that it would kind of hide the top of the screw. I thought about maybe putting like a twig plug on top of the screw, but I don't want it to be like that permanent. I do want to be able to get this off the wall at some point. So yeah, and then I'm just going to put some screws in and mount it to the wall that way. So it's not, I mean, that's not fancy. That's pretty like basic, but I wanted to keep this pretty simple. I mean, it's fairly utilitarian, but it's also a cool, like, you know, twiggy branch project. Okay, so to be perfectly honest, because that's my thing, this is my second mug tree. My first one's right here. And I made my second one right after I did this one, but I just didn't film it because I'd already filmed this one. And it was kind of just like an experiment that I was like, I feel like I could change some things about how I did this. So this one is a really boring looking branch, first of all, and I didn't measure at all where I wanted to put my hooks or my twigs. So I kind of just did it by eye, and then I was like, wow, it's really uneven. And then on this one, I actually used smaller twigs for my hooks, because these are pretty big twigs that I used. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I don't hate it or anything, but I just felt like I could maybe do better. And yeah, it's just like a more interesting branch to look at in general, with like the twisting and then the knots and all that. So it's just got more going on. And you know, if you're gonna make something out of a branch, you might as well make it look cool, right? So so yeah, just a couple improvements, I suppose. If you wanted to make something that's just sit on the counter, you could just cut one end off really straight and then stick it in a block of wood. And then you could put your hooks all the way around it, and then you'd want to angle them like upwards, like mine are angled this way. You know, it's a similar idea. And you could totally do that, and it'd be, you know, a more traditional mug tree. It's a pretty silly like kitchen, you know, gadget. I don't know, it's not a gadget, but like it's a pretty unnecessary like kitchen accessory to have. Like no one needs a mug tree. You know, it could be cool if you make it. Plus, if you don't have a lot of cabinet space, then you can like free up some cabinet space by putting mugs on this mug tree. And yeah, if you don't have a lot of counter space, you can just like hang it up. So pretty handy, right? Alrighty, so I think we're ready to hang this baby up and test it. But before we do that, let me do some housekeeping. So like, subscribe, all of the normal things that YouTubers ask you to do. It does mean a lot to me personally. I wouldn't, you know, be anywhere with this if it wasn't for all of you. So, like I said last week, I'm going to keep promoting it. I'm doing an Etsy sale through November. So you can put in this coupon code and get 15% off of anything in my shop. So use that, do with that what you will. Otherwise, just keep doing what you're doing because I appreciate the ever flippin' mother hell out of it. Alrighty, so let's get to hanging this, and as usual, you know, I'll see you next week with a new video. you know, a mug tree, you know, it's like a little, whatever. It's a thing. What's a mug tree? What the fuck am I trying to say? Okay, alright, so a mug tree is, a little,